Okay, let's talk about the latest shenanigans from the Labour Party. Every 10 minutes, they basically change their position on border control and migration. To an extent, because it depends who they send on TV. If it's Keir Starmer, he says, well, until a few months ago, he wanted open borders and free movement. But now he says, yeah, let's stop illegal migration. And the only way we could do it is by arresting the people smugglers in France. Good luck with that. And then they send someone else, Angela Rayner says something else. Lisa Nandy is getting closer to Keir Starmer. But this interview is funny because she says the current policy of Suella Braverman to ban illegal migration and to then actually help them go to a safe place from the safe country that is France, go to a safe place that is Rwanda, for example. She says that's unethical. But let's see what she has to say. Let's be objective, open-minded.
But the question is, what is the government actually doing? So far, they've done several PR opportunities and photo ops. We've had £140 million of cheques written to Rwanda in order to implement a scheme that hasn't removed a single person.
Sorry to interrupt. The photo ops, I'm not really the fan of this cabinet, as you guys know, and even the Rwanda policy is not perfect. It's got its own issues. But the photo ops that we had a couple of days ago in Rwanda were not just photo ops. They were to show the completion of the project is now ready, the housing is ready. And the second point that Lisa Nandy says, saying, well, it hasn't even deported anybody yet. It's because you guys stopped the deportations. You can't do this. You can't go out there and stop deportations and say, well, you haven't deported anybody. It makes no sense.
This is just more stunts from this government. What they should be doing is what Labour's been calling for a very long time. Take the money that is being spent on this unethical, unworkable scheme and put it into the National Crime Agency to create a cross-border cell in order to disrupt the criminal gangs who are
disrupt. Yeah, that's gonna be enough.
Profiting from people's misery. That will be the best way to stop the small boats and back it up with proper resources at the front end of the asylum system so that we can process cases swiftly and get a grip on what has become an unwieldy system that is completely out of control.
Okay, sorry, let's stop this nonsense. So she added a new policy now on it's not just disrupt the people smugglers network. Yeah, that's going to be so fine. It's going to work so well. Firstly, pick up the phone to Macron and say, can you go arrest all the people smugglers? That's not going to happen because it's not really about the individuals. Someone else will take their place. It's the same thing with the idiots who decades ago thought, well, if we ban drugs, then we're going to eliminate drugs. No, there's always as long as there's sin, there's going to be someone who will provide sin, as they say poetically. Someone's going to be a drug dealer. Someone's going to be a people smuggler. And she's not even calling for the elimination of it. She just says, let's just disrupt their network. Well, so that you just delay them for another 10 days and they're going to come back and do it again. Also, at this point, because it's been so routine, the dinghies, the small boats coming in, you don't even need, going forward, people smugglers anymore. Even if you get rid of all of them, there are going to be enough people who have knowledge now, people who have now reached the UK, they can call their relatives and they can give advice to the relatives and say, teach them how to go get a dinghy, sort out the boat, and what time is best to do it on the French coast. And you don't even need a people smuggler anymore. And this is the issue that people like Keir Starmer or Lisa Nandy are not talking about, or anybody in the political establishment. Even if you eliminate the whole of the network of people smugglers, they can still find a way to come here because everybody else has done it. That's one. Second problem that she said, one of the issues that she wants to be sorted is the backlog, the existing asylum seeking applications, all the people who are already here. She says, and Starmer says the same, they want it to be accelerated and fast tracked, which the government is essentially doing, to eliminate the backlog. But you do realize what people like Lisa Nandy and Keir Starmer want is to fast-track the process of the applications, not necessarily to reject and deport, but to approve them. This is the issue. So for those who might get excited and say, okay, that could work, we could actually accelerate and fast-track the applications and the process. But if the Labour Party is in government, they're going to just basically say, yes, 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 tick, you're welcome, you're welcome. Even this government has already done that anyway. We've had the highest rate of approvals, especially when it comes to the Albanian economic migrants who enter the country illegally, compared to any other country in Europe, who are also part of ECHR, who are also part of the UN Refugee Conventions. Even this government have been so bad at just saying yes to a lot of people. Imagine how much worse things could get if the Labour Party is in charge. They're just going to say, well, each application, we're just going to skim through it every 10 minutes and just like tick and say, yep. And they're going to go on TV and proudly announce that we have abolished the backlog, the waiting list. Yeah, because you said yes to everybody. And then you think people are going to be happy about that decision. This is why we have to tell the truth. And every time I see something like this on the mainstream media, we have to fix the spin of what you see on TV and the media. Because otherwise, people are going to see what's on the surface, what this idiot just ranted about. And she's not going to get challenged by the interviewer, by Sophie Ridge. No one's going to actually hold them to account. And this is why we are in this mess. The fear that we have with an upcoming potential Labour government is going to be so much worse if we don't hold these people to account. Anyway, make sure to share this video everywhere because we have to tell the truth. I'm Mahyar, Tousi, and we are the media.